The show's off air.
Is it off live?
Hello, good evening, and welcome to RSG. My name is Ryan Eastep. Today, we're going to kind of continue on with our last week's episode, which was episode 6. We had some technical difficulties, which we just kind of stopped midstream. It's an epic ending.
Yeah. It was a cliffhanger.
Yeah. We know you said
what happened to the RSG guys?
We were over time anyways.
That's right.
Maybe they're all dead.
Well, with me, as always, is Mr. Roby Watson.
Hello.
And Mr. Nathaniel Connor.
Greetings.
And our guest again this week, continuation of last week, Mr. Christopher Gray.
Howdy.
Howdy. We got quite a bit to talk about tonight. We're going to bounce kind of all around everything from Hong Kong to Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age game. So
these things are totes related.
Yeah, oh yeah. So how do you guys want to start? You want to start with Hong Kong, or you want to start with gaming?
I guess we'll just start with the news. There's a couple bit of interesting news bits here and there.
Yeah.
So we can go with Windows has announced their next OS.
Yeah. Dude.
True, yeah.
Yes, Windows 10.
Windows 10. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, why did they do that? Why did they go straight to 10? Has Windows ever named their they've never, ever named their OS, their operating systems in sequential order except for one other time.
Right. I think 7 and 8 are like the only times really that they were sequentially ordered at all.
Right.
True.
There was one time where it was like 3 and then 3.3 or 3.1, I think it was. 3.1 is what it was.
Yeah, 3.1.
And then and then this was like 7, 8, 8.1. But it's no big surprise to me that they're just,
No, this is what happened. Okay. The marketing department did a little bit of research, and they realized that every other Windows is shitty. And so they skipped that shitty Windows and went to good Windows instead.
This is true. This is proven.
Wait, no. Then they screwed up because 9 was supposed to be good.
9 was supposed to be good. I know. I'm not saying they're a smart marketing department. I'm saying that that's what they've done, though.
There is some
to skip the shit.
Well, there is some thought process on it. For instance, they're saying that many programs, legacy programs. I don't buy this, by the way, but they're saying many legacy programs that are out there would recognize 95 and 98 as just Windows 9 or 9X, and the computer would kind of ignore the X and just see 9. And that's the reason why they went straight to 10, is to avoid that. And I'm like, I don't really buy that there's a lot of people out there using 95 and 98 programs. But whatever.
Aside from like startup companies that don't have the money to buy there's
a lot of. The problem is it's the people who actually paid money to Windows for their license. The people running 95 and 98, little small businesses from 95 and 98, 2000.
Look, if they can't upgrade to XP, okay, for real.
At the very least.
Truth.
Right. It's XP. Like, seriously.
Listen,
the company I work for is still running 95.
Are you serious?
And XP. Well,
oh, my Lord. Okay, because I'm
Hold on,
saying...
don't you work for a hospital?
Yes. That should scare you a lot.
I work at a bank, though. We are way behind the technology, too, so it's cool. All the important stuff gets run on, like, 25-year-old technology. It's
right. It really does.
I'm getting real tired of not being allowed to access websites because my browser's out of date, let alone my operating system at work.
Oh, I know. It's so annoying.
Totes.
Okay, well, that was enough of that. There's really not too much on that right now. Just that they announced it this Tuesday and that it's called 10, and nobody really knows why, and really doesn't matter.
I'm about to post a link on the site right now in regards to it's a CNET link for the Windows 10 thing. It's got a little bit of their speaking on there or keynotes and stuff like that. So,
yep. In entertainment news, it is rumored now that Joaquin Phoenix will not be Doctor Strange,
which kind of sucks.
Because he doesn't want to lock into a 6-year contract.
I see.
Forgot he's so busy right now. So
well, he's not busy, but he's one of those big, I'm into my artistic freedom, I want to do what I want to do kind of guys. Which makes sense, because he does some weird pictures sometimes.
True. Still love them as Johnny
So,
Depp.
the next name to come up is Ethan Hawke.
Ooh.
as possibly playing Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I think I'm upset that Joaquin Phoenix isn't doing it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I am too. I'd rather see Joaquin do it, for sure. But I'm not against Ethan Hawke.
Me either. I mean, you know, just looking at the two actors side by side in their past work, I prefer Joaquin, but I don't think Ethan Hawke is a bad actor by any stretch of the imagination.
You can't look at him without thinking about, well, I guess maybe I can because I forgot the name of the movie.
Way to go.
Yep. Just ignore me.
Gattaca? Is it Gattaca? Because Gattaca is the
Yes, it was.
moment, the like defining movie for Ethan Hawke in my mind.
Same here. It really was. Strangely enough, though, not for Uma Thurman. That's pretty much always
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction for me. That's Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill. One of the two.
True.
Kill Bill. Definitely Kill Bill, I think.
Uma Thurman, yeah, she kind of came. Well, Pulp Fiction, she had that iconic role. Well, not really iconic, but like that memorable role where she thought she was sniffing cocaine. Can't look at her without seeing like blood and stuff pour out of her nose. This is the way it is. I don't know. Maybe I should have saw the other one first.
You got some issues, right?
Yeah.
You got some issues. Come on, you knew it was only a matter of time before it made out of the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Only a matter of time.
That's all right. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
That was the most appropriate, time for it, really.
It
really was.
Good. That was pretty good.
Okay. But speaking of media, you guys saw Tusk yesterday? Roby and Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes, we went and saw a late showing of Tusk yesterday evening.
We were the only ones in the theater.
Private screening.
Nice.
Yeah. So we made out the entire time. It was so
Yeah,
good.
we didn't really watch the movie. It was good. Whatever.
No, we went and saw Tusk, the latest release from Kevin Smith.
I love that movie. It was really good.
It was good. It was very entertaining. Because every once in a while, I see why a lot of people aren't flocking to it.
Right.
I get that. It's not for everyone. It's kind of an acquired taste, I think. Because it doesn't really tell a story. It seems almost like a foreign film, and that doesn't really tell a story. It's more just like a picture of someone's life. But Michael Parks is so good in it.
Dude, he can take anything.
Psychotic, crazy old man. So
what you're telling me is that it's a Kevin Smith movie.
Yes. It's a Kevin Smith movie.
But that doesn't make
it
it
not a funny Kevin Smith movie. It's like a Kevin Smith horror movie with some of Kevin Smith's humor thrown in as well.
And I gotta say, I read an article today about it, and they said it had the best monster reveal, rivaled only by Centipede, Human Centipede.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
When he showed us the walrus for the first time, blew my mind.
Tusk.
Blew my mind.
So
the best part about this movie is like he's bantering back and forth with what's his name? It's Long. Is it John?
Justin Long.
Justin,
that's right.
Wallace. Justin Long. Yeah.
Whose name is Wallace, who becomes the walrus.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Wallace the walrus.
But he'll be like just bantering back and forth with Justin Long, and then go into a story. And when he's telling this story, this is Michael Parks. When he's telling the story, even though it's ridiculous, like dancing and swimming around with a walrus, you're still just like, tell me more. I want to hear more. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I guess I got
the writing for Parks too was really good, I think.
Yeah, his vernacular was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. And then the ending was great because it was not a typical Hollywood ending.
Oh, that's good. I enjoy those.
We're not going to spoil it.
Spoilers, because that's what we do here. Oh, we're going to spoil it.
Oh, we're going to spoil it? Okay.
Why not?
All right, fine. You've been warned. Turn it off if you don't want to hear it. All the zero listeners. I think we have like 2 listeners.
Everyone wants to listen to hear me talk about this movie.
All right, muting
at the end. At the end, like he turns Justin Long into a walrus made of the sewn flesh of other victims
Yes.
He's a serial killer, and he sews the other flesh into like a walrus suit, and like literally cuts his legs off and uses them as tusks, and like sews his arms to his side so they're like flippers, and like literally like transforms his body into a walrus, and then puts him in this jacked up walrus suit made of other dead bodies. At the end, they kill Michael Parks. His friends come and save him, and they kill Michael Parks. And well, actually, Justin kills Michael Parks, but
Yeah.
we can leave
The
that. Some
battle
parts.
was epic.
At the end, they do not transform him back into a human.
There's no spoilers in the show either, right?
What's that? Spoilers?
Oh, we do spoilers all the time. We don't
Oh,
care.
yeah.
We're spoilers all up in here. I don't care. So at the end, they don't take him back. They don't like treat him. They don't kill him. They take him to a wild animal exhibit and just leave him as a walrus there the entire time. And a year later, they come back and visit him and feed him a raw fish.
A mackerel.
Oh my lord.
It
And
did.
that is how the movie ends. And I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That it was.
They didn't try to pretty it up. It's just like, nope. We're going with like the most illogical ending we could think of. Just taking him to an animal shelter and letting him live there.
And it looked like a terrible
Does it have
animal
more Jay and
shelter.
Silent Bob feel in those spots, or
No.
WTF in those spots?
More of a WTF.
More of a WTF. But I enjoy a good WTF every now and again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like the original ending for Clerks, the first movie, which I love the original ending, and I wish they would have went with it, but then we wouldn't have Clerks 2 and the upcoming Clerks 3.
Yes, indeed. Why don't you tell us about the original ending for Clerks?
Oh, well, the original ending, after Dante and Randall fight, they have their fight inside the store, and they make up. Randall leaves, and Dante cleans up, and he's sitting at the counter, and some dude comes in and robs him, and then shoots him, and Dante dies at the end.
Yeah.
of the first
Shotgun. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, I really like that ending. Maybe because I'm a sick person who also needs help, but I thought it was really good. Much
Oh,
better
it was
than
great.
the original,
Like-
yeah.
Everything doesn't have to end happy, lovey-dovey all the time, you know? Let something be sad every once in a while. Or just be weird or whatever, you know?
Well, that's pretty weird, the walrus feeding.
The walrus thing is amazingly weird. But
Oh.
good. I loved it. I really did. Like, his fucked up walrus costume was fantastic.
It was like there was no. I mean, it was just multicultural walrus flesh. I mean, and you saw
Yeah.
every spectrum.
Wait, how
Almost.
does he breathe underwater?
He
He
doesn't.
doesn't.
He just.
He's not even
throws-
very good at swimming. That's an issue in the movie.
Yeah. It's just
lives
like you
for
can't
a
be a
year.
walrus unless you learn how to swim, and then he just like pulls him into the water. Yes, yes. Dude, it was amazing.
So he lives for a year as a walrus, and somehow doesn't drown.
He doesn't live in
No,
the water.
he's
They have
like
land
he
for him.
lives in yeah, it's like they have like a tiny little pool there. It's like an sort of like the kind of like the Wilds almost.
I see.
You familiar with that? Right.
Yeah.
So he's like got a bunch of land and a little hut that he lives in, and then like a pool that he can swim around in, even though he doesn't swim.
Yeah.
And he
It's just a
just-
very sad-looking
He
beach
sits
ball.
all of his time inside the pool.
And there's
Basically inside the hut, being sad.
there's an item that makes it from the beginning of the movie all the way through the end. He's got this like, it's called Chug a Lug, Chug lug, and it's this big like gallon soda cup that just Michael Parks keeps using it to feed him. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's good stuff. You have to watch
You
it.
gotta
Check
see
out,
it, though.
definitely. Comes recommended because, like I said, it's just a good like sit down and be like, wow, who
Yeah,
thought this up?
did not see that coming. Well, of course now you know it's coming, but that's not our fault. It's been out for a while.
Man, that's some
Yeah.
messed up psychotic stuff, all right.
Yeah, crazy.
But it was able to get him set up so that he got the funding for Clerks 3, which I still haven't been able to find out how he got the last I heard, I thought the Weinstein brothers had the rights to Clerks based on the rest. I think like Clerks was purchased by them, and then Miramax. I think was it Miramax or was it Weinstein company did Clerks too? It's the same people though. But yeah, I wonder how we got.
It's Miramax, I think.
Well, he wrote and directed it though, didn't he? Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but it was owned by the Weinstein company. Yeah.
I'm so sad he sold that, but I understand. He got to make money.
Yep, that's true. And I wouldn't mind seeing Clerks 3. I really wouldn't. I enjoyed 2. I think it'd be interesting to see baby Dante. So. But the best part about
in the third one.
What's that?
Is this a prequel, Clerks 3 or something?
No, I think it's going to be a continuation.
Oh, she was pregnant. That's right. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. Which should be fascinating.
But the Tusk is not going to be the only movie that Kevin Smith makes in that whole atmosphere. I guess he's thinking about doing a trilogy. The next movie is going to be featuring Johnny Depp's daughter as well as Kevin Smith's daughter. I think they're going to be the main focus of it. It's going to be kind of the same line, so it's going to be another movie very similar to this one. I think it's called The True North. Something here. I'm going to look it up. And I'll post it to the Facebook.
And I thought he was going to do one based off Depp's character, Guy Lapointe.
Which was an amazing character.
Depp is great in this movie too. He really is. Like, this movie's all about the characters, and they're pretty good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you really should.
Definitely check it out. It's worth the hour and a half it takes to watch the movie.
Right.
You will not be disappointed, I think.
Let's see, what else do we got to talk about today? Well, I guess I wanted to touch a little on Hong Kong. That's some interesting stuff going on in Hong Kong right now. The basic rundown is that it's come time for China to basically select the new, I actually don't know the official title, but the new leader for Hong Kong who's going to preside over Hong Kong. And the people of Hong Kong aren't okay with it.
No, they're not.
They're not okay with it. They want to basically choose who it's going to be. And, there's a lot of protests going on right now. And as far as protests go, I don't know, it's pretty, I don't want to say mild because that, it's quite large.
Oh, it looks like they just had a face-off, the protesters and the police.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm looking at CNN World right now, and I guess early Friday morning there was it went down.
Wow. Well, it was bound to happen, honestly. I mean, you can't have a peaceful protest for too terribly long before it breaks down into violence.
Well, I read an article yesterday or today at work saying that the government was bringing in tear gas and rubber bullets into the local government building in full view of everybody else. Plus, they were going around and telling women with children and people with pets to go ahead and leave because it's probably going to escalate. So it's like they gave everybody a chance to back off. They can't really believe that they would actually really back off, though. Or I mean, that the government wouldn't do anything. I mean, it was a holiday weekend. Now it's not. So I don't. It hit the fan.
Well, there's a lot of There's a lot of play here, and the biggest issue is that Hong Kong is sort of this weird limbo that is just outside of Chinese communism. In reality, it's just outside of it. It's operated basically. I don't want to say a democracy because it hasn't, but it's operated as a capitalistic sort of like territory. And now all of a sudden that's sort of gotten to a lot of the head of the Hong Kongese, and now they're wanting to choose, and it's a difficult position not just for Hong Kong, but also for China, because Hong Kong is a cash cow, and this spells a lot of trouble for a lot of people. Both on the side of the protesters and on the side of the Chinese officials. So it's going to get worse before it gets better, is my guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, hopefully they don't repeat Tiananmen Square. I mean, I don't think it's going to get that far this time, but hey, it might. You never know.
Oh, it has the potential of getting far worse. I mean, the population of Hong Kong is much more dense,
Right.
much more packed, and it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it could potentially, worst case scenario, just devolve into absolute chaos. Absolute
I'll
chaos.
post that link I see from CNN up here with the most recent update. Well, 4 hours old, so I'm not sure what's going on now, but
Well, I guess the question really is like, what do you? Well, how do you guys feel about this particular movement? Do you feel like this is something we should get behind? Do you feel like this is something we shouldn't touch?
well, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can have an opinion on. This could be one of the things we can have an opinion on. I mean, they can't really be a part of China and not expect to go by the same rules that the rest of the country goes by. It's my opinion. I mean, they could want differences, and by all means, they should be allowed to protest, but it's not a democratic society.
Wasn't Hong Kong kind of reluctantly kind of part of China to begin with?
Yeah, they were. My understanding is that the British signed a contract with them like hundreds of years ago that just expired recently, recently in the last 30 years time frame.
It expired, like basically like 1999, 2000, something like that.
Yeah, so like relatively recently the contract expired, so it went back to being owned by China. But they're sort of hesitant to come in and be like, bam, fuck you, you're China. You do what we say, because there's a lot of people there and they may not take kindly to it. So it's sort of like, it is China now, but it's not China, and it's sort of an odd conglomeration, because if they put it under the same rules and restrictions that the rest of the Chinese people are under, they're going to limit a lot of the international trade that comes through there.
Right.
And they don't want to necessarily do that, because it's not necessarily good for them.
Yeah, it's a huge trading port, selling port. It's, like I said, it's a cash cow in every sense of the form, sense of the word, that is. And they're to destabilize it is really just, it's playing with fire. But at the same, like, the Chinese kind of have their backs up against the wall, because in times previous to this, the Chinese just would have went in and stomped it out and said, this is no,
Tibet,
but,
right?
Right, but now they can't. It's we're living in a full world where information just flows freely, and because of that, they got to be very careful about what they do, and still be able to keep a global presence without pissing off a lot of people.
True, you're absolutely right. It is a lot different these days.
Right, and also, not only just pissing off a lot of people, but also. They got to be careful about not doing something.
Start an Asian Spring over there,
Well, they don't want to look weak either, on the global stage.
Right.
So it's really,
But they also know the rest of the world is seeing how they're treating sort of their own people. Well,
that's the thing. They restrict a lot of what comes out of China, as far as what we see and what we don't see.
Yeah, they shut down the internet in there, I think, earlier this week.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and they block a lot of the what's it called, Weibo, something like that, Weibo, like the Chinese version of Twitter, Weibo.
Oh wow.
There's a couple of different. You can look online. I'll post a couple of these different stat pictures.
They
of
even
them,
have knockoff Twitter. Huh?
Yeah, how many posts they just block out from ever being seen.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically police that heavily.
Which is smart. That's what the people in Iran should have done.
Exactly, and in Egypt.
If you want to keep a lockdown, that's what you got to do. The internet allows everyone in the world to see what you're doing and judge you for it. If you're going to try and be totalitarian, you got to lock that down. Kim Jong-il that shit.
Yeah, the problem is that Hong Kong had been sort of unchecked for such a long time that they're finding it extremely difficult to lock it down.
Oh, I know, and they're going to find it hard to lock it down. I mean,
yeah.
Without coming in and going all military and just killing people who get out of line, I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm advocating for them to do that at all, or to block the internet. Just saying
Hong Kong kind of
want to
more first world. You can't take them from first world living status down to a second, world living status, and then to go quietly,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. I think I I personally very much support the protesters. I don't feel like there's a ton that we can do. There's always something you can do, but in this particular situation, at this particular time, when it's as chaotic as it is, it's just a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends still in Hong Kong, and a lot of those friends are kind of caught in the middle of this. So,
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's definitely a worrisome situation for myself personally. So, but anyway, I guess on a lighter note, and back to what we do. Dragon Age Inquisition.
That's what we gotta do. Yes.
Oh, Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, coming out pretty soon.
It looks really good.
It does look really good. We have a gameplay trailer up on our, it's like a 9-minute trailer up on the page if you want to check it out. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, there's a couple different things up on the Facebook. There's that. There's like a 1-hour walkthrough of character creation and also some gameplay.
Which is definitely something awesome to check out.
Yeah, the gameplay looks fantastic. The character animations, just the artwork, the quality of the graphics, just all look fantastic.
It does look really amazing. The question is the story going to be better than Dragon Age 2?
I didn't hate the story in Dragon Age 2. I think the gameplay suffered a bit, and I think that the area you were in was kind of limited, but I felt like the story was okay.
Okay, maybe story is the wrong thing, but is there going to be more scenery like there was in Dragon Age 1, where it felt bigger because you did more things in different places.
More side quests, more places.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's already. I mean, I've already seen more like different locales in just the trailers than I did in Dragon Age 2, like all together. So my guess is that it'll be bigger. How much bigger, I don't know, but my guess is it will be.
That's cool. And I understand we'll be able to play Kunari in this one as well.
Oh.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
I think the playable races.
I'm not gonna lie, Sten was my favorite character from Dragon Age 1.
Oh, you're such
Yes,
a
he was.
He's such a nerd. I have nothing.
Bro, don't hate.
Right.
Yeah, I have nothing to back that up with. But I think the humans are playable, elves, dwarves, and Kunari are the 4 playable races. Fairly certain.
150 types of armor, 200 abilities, talents, and upgrades, 160 crafting materials, 400 crafting recipes, 30 mounts, and 200 weapon and armor upgrade schematics.
Well, something that's actually
a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Something that's cool that I was listening on one of those videos that we posted about the crafting specifically was that the guy goes, well, okay, you see this armor you get, this is the pre-order armor. It doesn't give you a huge bonus, not long-term anyways, it's very short-term. However, let's say you really like the pattern, right? That pattern is saved. So you can craft new armor made of green dragon scale, and it'll look like green dragon scale, but it'll follow that pattern. So it'll be crafted in the same style, but with a different material. And from what I understand,
I like that.
All recipes can go in that can go that way. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So if you find a way you like
awesome.
to look, you can keep doing it, which is cool.
Yeah.
And you can mix and match easily.
Still get upgrades.
It's actually a really good idea. I'm surprised nobody else has really thought of it, but that's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's also they're talking about some of the character creation options, which, by the way, if you guys haven't watched the video, absolutely do it. There are a ton of options, an absolute ton. Everything you have plenty of actual body part just switch to quick swap body parts to choose from, but everything else has a slider and makeup and tattoos
for the face alone.
Yeah, it's a ton of stuff.
That's awesome.
They're talking about how things work with the Kunari versus humans. Well, and the rest, humans, dwarves, and elves. They were showing how the human can get tattoos on their face, and which is nothing terribly new. But they're talking about how the Kunari don't have tattoos, and that's because the Kunari use war paint. but
Right.
instead of helmets, they get war paint. And so you switch that up. The customization of your helmet is really just the customization of your war paint, and that's how the reason why they don't actually have tattoos on their face.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I like when they bring like you know, a little bit of culture to the game, so there's a little more backstory, it's a little more fleshed out as a whole world. You know what I mean? Which
Well,
they did really well in Dragon Age 1, especially.
Speaking of that, I was watching another video that I have not linked, but I will. That is, I'm trying to remember what it was. The Keep, I believe, is what they're referring to it as. And what it is how they pull everything in, because Dragon Age, much like other BioWare games like Mass Effect, this is Dragon Age Inquisition. It is of the same world, okay? The same people that existed in Dragon Age 1 and 2 also exist in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Which is cool.
Right. So what this Keep does is it basically allows you not only to save your world state and import world states from your previous played games, it allows you to edit them and save them and share them with other people's saved world states. And down to the what they call the minutia, the minutia is in something they call the tapestry, where you have like all the main storyline that you can choose from when you're actually playing, when you actually start a game, let's say brand new, you never played any other games. But then you can go in and actually edit the details from the previous two games as well. Like all the tiny little choices. They say there's going to be between 300 and 500 of those choices to have to choose from at launch. Of just like the little options you might have said yes to or no to throughout the game that might change the storyline.
That is a ton of options.
It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. The game is also, or the Keep is also made specifically to realize that sometimes people might choose options that might conflict and might not work together. And if they don't, it tells you, hey, this conflicts, you can't choose this, so you have to choose something else. So it knows, it knows exactly how the storyline plays out and what you can and can't do, and it gives you the choices you can make and locking you out of the other ones. Now, here's the cool thing. At any point, you can go back in and say, you know what, I want to try something slightly different. Like if I played the game before, maybe I don't want to go back and play the other two all the way through, but I want to make those choices again. You can go back and just change it. There's just a slider option. Okay, I chose this instead.
Oh.
I chose this instead. And then load your game up.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there is a ton of options and a lot of continuity that they're really bringing into it, which is pretty cool. Pretty excited for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that BioWare does so well that no one else in the industry really seems to do.
Or can grasp.
Right.
I mean, some other people try, but it never... First of all, nobody else tries to make multiple games doing that same thing all running together.
Right.
BioWare is one of the few who have done that. But other games have tried to do the same sort of like BioWare type of system, storytelling system, like what's a good example? Deus Ex does it. But it's not nearly the same massive undertaking that BioWare usually, takes on.
Yeah, and I suppose it's sort of in the Assassin's Creed games, kind of, where they're like kind of interlinked with each other, but not to the extent that BioWare does it, I don't think.
Right. Well, I mean, BioWare's made many games that do it. Everything from like, they didn't do the Baldur's Gates, but the Baldur's Gates did it, which Dragon Age is sort of the spiritual successor to those games. But
it really is.
Mass Effect, did it. They made an entire MMO that does it. In Star Wars. So, I mean, it's what they do, and it's one of the few things, it's one of the things that I like the most about BioWare, really.
Yeah. They do a good job.
Now, I wanted to talk to you, Ruby, specifically about the combat system, because I only kind of messed around with Dragon Age 1, or Dragon Age Origins, as they're calling it now.
Right, well, I think it was always called Origins even back then.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, was it? Okay. So I only messed around, like, a little bit with Dragon Age Origins, and it was mostly strictly sort of a top-down tactical sort of deal.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was for the most part. It was very much Baldur's Gate-ish.
Yeah. Now, Dragon Age 2 was far more hack and slash, almost entirely, really.
Yeah.
This seems to capture the best of both in an amazingly well thought out and executed fashion, from what I can see.
Yeah.
Does
I don't know. I enjoyed the combat system in 1, but I played those sort of tactical games because my gaming skill does not lie in Twitch-based attacks and hacking and slashing efficiently and blocking and all that. It's too complicated.
I play it or MMO it. Eventually.
Maybe, I don't know. But I mean honestly, I cheated my way through Dragon Age 1 on my first playthrough. I played a mage, and I took all mages, and one sneaky person who went up and opened the door to lots of rooms, and then I just put down a bunch of AoE damage and then closed the door again. And then waited for everyone to die, and then opened the door again and went and picked up my stuff.
I don't think that's going to be quite the same option in this one.
Right. The Dragon Age show, you can't really do that so much.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta actually really play.
Well,
I'm gonna miss my exploiting though.
Have you seen any of the gameplay yet, Robbie?
I have not got a chance to watch any of the gameplay.
Oh, it looks awesome.
I need you. Yeah, I really want you to watch that because it's gonna be. That's specifically like what I wanted to talk to you about because honestly, it looks fantastic. It looks so good.
Yeah, the tactical, where you can actually pause combat and set up tactical setups. You can have some guys. Well, the gameplay trailer has guys he sets it up to where a couple guys guard the door so no one gets in. He sends his little sneaker up there and he sneak attacks the archers while the main character's handling the boss mob or the main dude with the shield. I think you really enjoy it, Roby.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. But at the same time, the hack and slash portion of it doesn't look as frantic or as awkward as Dragon Age 2. So there's already an improvement there.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very, I don't want to say MMO-ish, but it does kind of look MMO-ish. But it just seems to work really well. One of the cool attacks that your Inquisitor has is the ability to hook people and drag them to you.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. The whole thing looks really, really good in reality. Positioning still looks very important, and the ability to pause the action looks to be pretty important as well. Very important. Seems to be a cornerstone of the combat. Moving your guys out of the way because everything is kind of hit detection in this. If you're not in front of him when he swings his sword, you don't get hit.
Right.
So that exists.
Interest.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything as far as the romance options on this yet? Because, I know a lot of the ladies and maybe a few of the guys care about it.
That's a good question.
Bro, romance options are super important in a BioWare game.
They're super important. They're super important to me. I'm just gonna say it.
I will play all the romance options in every BioWare game every time.
Yep. I go through it. I check out every single one of them.
Yeah. I have not seen or heard any news about those.
I'm looking it up right now to see if there's any.
I'm going to assume that they're going to do what BioWare does. They've only gotten
one romance option. Can you go poly? Can you go gay?
Listen. This is Dragon Age. Dragon Age was the first game. No, I shouldn't say first. It is one of the most well-known games to have the option to have your character be gay, and not just be able to be gay, but have supporting characters to support that. That romance option. Right. Dragon Age 2 had it, Dragon Age 1 had it. I can almost guarantee you Dragon Age 3 will have it as well.
Well, 2 did not have it. That was what was disappointing. The Origins had it, and 2 did not.
No, 2 did have it. 2 absolutely did have it.
Yeah, there was romance in 2. Looks like there's going to be...
No, he's talking about gay romance.
No, so am I. Oh. So am I. It absolutely existed. It absolutely did exist.
Oh, challenge accepted. Find the article regarding it. Video.
Now we're putting it down, right?
Okay.
Let's see some facts.
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember his name.
Oh.
But
you don't remember.
Hey, listen to me, sir. I didn't explore it myself, but Jeremiah did. So, and he.
Okay.
Oh,
so I know it exists. I'm not throwing anybody of those, but Jeremiah's name. He absolutely. He was like, dude, I was so happy that I could go with this option. and that he was really happy that the game supported his lifestyle. So I can almost guarantee you it was there.
Right.
So
there's almost certainly going to be gay romance options, I think.
Well, looking at
IGN, when 2 didn't have it.
Looking at IGN, it looks like there's going to be 8 romance options available in Dragon Age Inquisition players. 2 of these romances are restricted by race. Another 6 are freely available. At least one of these romance options exists outside the traditional companion or advisory role. So it says, are both options for engaging in a homosexual romance? Scribbles is likely a bisexual romance option. I'll link this up to the Facebook page so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, definitely throw that up there.
Okay, here you go, Chris. Anders was his name. He was a blood mage. You can get into a full-blown romance with Anders, whether you are male or female.
Ah, okay. Yep. Anders was okay.
Yep.
I know Varric was not an option.
Varric wasn't, but Fenris also was.
Hey, Trish. I guess with 2 this year, Fenris and Anders were male.
Well, that's been settled. Challenge accepted and completed.
Right. Way to be, bro. You win. You win. You win so good.
I know. How?
What's up?
Chris muted himself.
Yeah. He'll be back.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Did you mute? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it was it was totally possible in 2 as well as 1. So I can almost guarantee it'll be in 3. I think it would be folly for it to not be there. I mean, even Mass Effect supported it, although really
right.
only if you're a male, you only really had the option in 3. It didn't exist in 2 unless you were female, or 1 unless you were female. But
you couldn't really do.
If you were
you're right.
No, yeah, if you're a female,
Yeah, if you're female, you could, yeah.
You could romance Liara in 1 and 2, but you didn't get the male homosexual option.
But does Liara really count?
Yes. I mean, they're female. The whole race is female, I understand. But it's... I don't know.
I mean, if they don't really have, like, an opposite sex, can they really say that they're female? I mean, we say that they're female because that's how we understand things.
Perhaps
but they
not...
Don't
Perhaps not technically, but I think it was there in spirit at the very least.
It's there in spirit.
Fair enough.
In concept.
Spiritually, I'll grant you.
Right. Perhaps not technically, but it was there. It was absolutely there in 3 for both sexes. So. But
yes, for sure in 3.
Yeah. But I
thought they were pretty good in 3 actually.
They were all really good in 3. 3 was an amazing game, and I really look forward to the next game, which BioWare's already shown screenshots. They are working on Mass Effect 3. I'm hoping to hear more this E3, 6 months basically from now.
Should be interesting.
Yep. Yep. There's a lot to look
I don't
forward
know what
to.
they're gonna do, man. It can't be better than Marauder Shields, like the
Marauder
final
Shields.
boss in ME3. So beast. I mean, it was such a good fight.
Poor Marauder Shields.
Oh
man.
You ever some Marauder Shields, like half broke with your tiny little pistol or whatever?
Predator pistol.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But
oh well.
Anyway, so that's about all I really know of Dragon Age 2 at the moment. I don't know how much else has really been released, but it's definitely worth checking out. If you've not played Dragon Age before, no worries. There are plenty of choices in the beginning that sort of tell the story of 1 and 2, because characters from 1 and 2 are both going to exist and show up in 3.
Just wanted to point out from that article that Ryan posted, something that's interesting with this also is that instead of relying on gifting to raise your rep with your companions, it's more conversation-based than gifting.
Which it needs to be.
Right.
Yeah. That's what sucked about 1, is that you had to find the right gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really enjoyed the idea of gifting to raise your reputation with NPCs because it just sort of goes against, like, what you're role-playing your character as. So.
Oh, I found it. It's mine. Why should I give it to them? That's my. I mean, that's my.
This is my pretty shiny.
Yeah. I may not like what it
mirror.
is, but yeah, it's mine. I'm not giving it to you.
This is my painting.
Right? What'd you find? Nothing.
You're all like, oh, you like
Get
diamonds?
out of here.
Right.
You like diamonds? I also like diamonds. Oh, when did I like diamonds? Just now, bitch. That's when.
When I realized you liked it, I then suddenly started to like it.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's mine.
it's my stuff. But yeah. Anyways, check it out. Looks great. Look forward to it. I think it's going to be one of the better titles coming out on the Xbox One and the PS4. So.
Yeah.
I believe
be
it's
interesting.
going to be released for PC as well, but not until later. But I'm not entirely positive of that.
We'll find out. I'm sure it will. All the other Dragon Ages have been on PC. So.
Yeah, they need to stop hating on the PC Master Race.
The PC Master Race should probably stop calling themselves the PC Master Race. That would go a long way to stopping the hate.
Nah, bro. There's no reason for that. I mean, why would we lie? Why would we lie to our inferiors? Our inferiors get angry when we lie to them. We lied to them for years, but...
Oh, man.
Well, I'll be sure to play the game when it comes out for Xbox One. Let you know what it's all about, Roby.
You do that. Actually, I'm sure I'll probably get some time on the Xbox One here at my house to play it if I want to.
Sure, that's right. Yeah, I forgot your roommate has one. So, is there anything else? I know you had been kind of talking about...
Well, this Final Fantasy 15 looks very interesting, I think. I'm interested to see what the storyline is going to be about. Because it looks sort of high-tech.
Oh,
Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the new... Okay, I know which one you're talking about now. They, unveiled that, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just still been in development.
Yeah. Well, they recently released some new trailers and stuff for it, and it looks really good. The combat looks sort of like 12-ish, like Final Fantasy 12.
Really? Interesting.
That's what it looks like to play through, kind of. Where because in 12 you were more first-person centered, while the rest of your party just did stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The original trailer that I saw years back looked very hack and slashy. So.
Yeah, this one still looks very hack and slashy.
Well, I'm still interested in it.
But you have a party and stuff that follows you around, so...
Well, I think I can tell you what the storyline's going to be. It goes...
It's not going to make any sense.
Well,
whatever the storyline is, it's not going to make
Right. It goes, in the beginning, there was a dude, and then Japanese.
Right. Then Japan stuff happened, and now this.
Now this.
Fight a giant rock dragon. Go.
Right, go, do it. Because, they love their esoteric, very hard to understand, hard to follow storylines. They love them in their RPGs.
Yeah.
A lot. So it's going to be very, very similar to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the trailer that I linked is actually the one from 2013, but there's also some newer ones out there. So, I don't know. It looks interesting, and I love me some Final Fantasy 15, so...
Well, I love me Final Fantasy in general.
Or Final Fantasy in general, there's storylines, right, yeah.
Yeah, they've always been pretty good, even if they were a little weird. But, was there anything else? Oh, Ryan's gone. I just realized Ryan...
Where did Ryan go?
Oh, Ryan left. Oh, he got booted. Okay, let me get him back in here for the close here. Ryan.
Why did he get booted like that? That's noob.
Well, I would have done it on purpose had I thought about it, but...
Right.
There we go. Now he's back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just lost internet. Sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't have any random, loud sounds that kept looping when I got kicked.
Nope, you just sort of disappeared. Yep.
Well, I was talking about the new Final Fantasy. Roby had mentioned something about the new Final Fantasy. I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about that, or if you wanted to save that for next week.
We talked a whole bunch about it. Yeah, a whole bunch about it while you're gone.
That's actually why we kicked you out.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool. That's cool.
We didn't want to hear your racist opinions about Final Fantasy.
Look, there hasn't. Well, okay. I mean, if we're gonna start hating, then I'm gonna start at 10.
Oh man.
He's all like, listen.
Okay, no, feel free to hate on 10. Although the storyline for 10 I thought was actually pretty good, but I didn't like many of the characters in 10.
The characters were a bit lacking, but 10 was my favorite as far as like gameplay and everything.
I still haven't finished 10, but I've got saved games from many years ago.
Blitzball, baby.
But let's be honest, if 9 was by far the worst to come out in the since 7 in the new Final Fantasy generation, let's say.
Wait, have you played 9?
Oh, I don't
Yes,
know about
I
that.
hated it.
I have a different opinion than you on that. I actually kind of liked 9.
Oh man, I'm getting
What?
myself out of this chat.
It wasn't my favorite.
did
but
not
I
like
enjoyed
9.
it.
I couldn't stand Little Monkey Boy.
I could not. I did not like 9 at all. Not
Mm.
even a little bit.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel about 10.
Well, I mean,
See,
you're
10,
wrong.
I like 10.
You're wrong about 10.
Right.
I mean, 8 was clearly the best, but
Oh, my
10 is pretty
God.
good too.
You know
You
what?
and
I'm
Mario need to
actually
get together
doesn't
and hang out
count.
if 8's the best to you.
no. There is a huge contingent of people who loved 8.
Correct people who loved 8,
Correct people.
who know that it's the best.
Listen, you're seriously the squall angst I just couldn't take. Oh my gosh, that
The
guy!
best.
I can't think of it.
Clearly the best.
He was so emo, and he was the worst main character ever, next to the Monkey Boy.
Ever? Okay, not ever.
Here we go.
Clearly Monkey Boy was the worst.
I said next to Monkey Boy.
And Cloud? Dear God, Cloud was dumb. I couldn't stand Cloud either. He didn't know what he was or what he wanted to do or what he wanted to be.
And Squall did?
Get Cloud out of here. Get Cloud out of here. Squall knew exactly what was going on the whole time. He was just angry about it.
No, he didn't. He had no idea. Over half the game, he had no idea what was going on. But at the end of it, he still didn't know what was. He's like, "What's going on? I don't know. Is this a
At the
drink?"
end
I
of
don't
it,
know."
nobody knew what was going
Oh,
on.
cool, we got a ship now. Oh, awesome.
Good. I love ships because they have corners where I can sit down and cry.
Oh, God, come on. Seriously, 8 was the best. Then 10, baby. 11 doesn't count. 12 was pretty good, but I did not like the combat as much.
Yeah, I couldn't play 12. I played about 4 hours of 12 and turned it off.
I really enjoyed 13 as well. The combat was totally different and had a completely different feel to it, but I enjoyed it. A lot of people hated like the linearness of it, but I'm not here to wander around for hours and talk to stupid people. I'm here to save the world. Okay.
I enjoyed the storyline.
Good job.
Mind the linearness at all.
I enjoyed the storyline to 13 immensely. I absolutely hated the combat. Hated it with a passion. Could not stand it.
Yeah, see, combat didn't bother me that much. Like once I figured out how I wanted to get things set up and everything, it didn't bother me that much. But the storyline was really good, and the cutscenes were fantastic.
Well, how I figured out how I wanted once I figured out how I wanted everything set up, it wasn't too bad for me either because my setup involved you playing and me watching. It worked out great.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
have
the
to mess
best
with
way.
the combat. Yeah, I didn't have to
Right.
mess with the combat at all, and I could just watch all the cutscenes.
That's like when a friend buys you a movie ticket to a movie that's terrible. It's a win-win.
That's never happened. Oh wait.
Lucy.
Oh, there's
Lucy
like
was so bad.
listen. At the very least, Lucy was bad for both of us. But there's a movie that he bought the ticket for, even though he knew full well how terrible it was, and yet he still made me go watch it.
This sounds like a Resident Evil movie.
No, I loved Resident
No,
Evil.
no.
It was Snow White and the
Resident Evil
Huntsman.
movies are
Oh,
fantastic.
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Snow White and the Huntsman, yeah. Oh god, I made him go and watch. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh,
You should
it's
definitely go see it.
awesome. It's got
I
Thor
wa-
in it. Cool.
I walked out of that theater going, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure you like this movie? Because it was It was really bad. It was really terrible.
Oh, it was so horrible.
He knew the entire time.
Yep.
But
I
I'm
made
actually-
you watch it anyway. If I
I'm
had to suffer,
actually-
everyone has to suffer.
I'm still a little convinced that he actually liked it. When he saw my reaction, he's like, "Oh no, I hate it too, man. Yeah."
Yeah, no, that movie was
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it's
Yeah.
yeah, guys, totally.
Totally terrible. But
He's got the collector's edition at home.
well, do
Just kidding, guys. I love Kiss too.
you guys have anything else to talk about? I think we're just about done, aren't we?
Eh? Chris,
Yeah,
did you have
I think that about sums it up.
Nothing to add. I've only played 10 and a little bit of 11, so.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy MMOs, but
Wow, you're practically a Final Fantasy virgin.
No, I'm.
Well, no, I've played the old Nintendo ones.
Oh, those count absolutely.
Right, the old school,
Those
like
absolutely
1, 2, 3
count.
guy. Like that's like the old gen of the
Like
7
3.
is the dividing line, right? Like you have 1, 2, and 3 before that, and like 7 is the dividing line where like the new gen gamers start
Right.
picking it up.
right.
I'll be honest. To be entirely frank, my favorite Final Fantasy to date is actually 3 in the States, 6 in Japan. That was my favorite. Like, I love that game a lot. I think it was the best. Had a good storyline.
Is that the one where you had Fabian?
Yes,
Yes, that one was really good.
that one was fantastic. I played the crap out of that game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the main protagonist was female in that one, right? Was it
yes.
Tara the protagonist, or was that is that 2 I'm thinking of?
No, it wasn't. Or was it Tara? She was an Esper. Is all I remember.
Yeah.
She was kind of like the central point. The central story was on her, but I wouldn't call her the protagonist necessarily.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's
but,
fair.
I really should go back and get like an emulator or something and play these games.
I've got Final Fantasy 2. I'm posting to the page right now. You can play it through the website.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Love
I'm
it.
pretty sure you can also get versions of 2 and 3 on your iPhone/iPad.
That's
But
true.
I
I
don't
did
think they're the
have.
same games as the original.
I had
So-
Tactics for my phone. That was pretty cool.
Tactics was amazing.
I
Yes,
loved Tactics.
Love that game.
Yes.
Love that game.
Every time I play Final Fantasy Tactics, though, it makes me want to play Ogre Tactics, and I can never find that thing anywhere.
There's
Yeah.
an emulator for it, I'm sure.
Well, I'm
I don't
sure
know,
sure it's out there.
there's a ton of like old, Japanese JRPGs and Japanese strategy games that I love. Shining Force, Warsong, freaking Suikoden. These were
You can get all the Shining Forces on Steam and play them on your computer on Steam. It's fantastic.
I highly suggest that. It's great. But,
Do you know what I'd love to see though? I would spend, honest to God, days at a time playing Nobunaga's Ambition on my computer if I could get a good emulator for it.
Oh man, Nobunaga.
I would play years of that game.
I don't think I know.
Fantastic.
I don't think I know what that game is.
It was the best game ever for original Nintendo. Best game ever.
It was really good. It was
I'll
really,
have to
really
check
good.
it out.
I cannot.
Or was
can't-
it
I
Super?
can't
No, it
deny
was Super, wasn't it?
It was Super. It was Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Super.
I never had a
Nintendo.
Super.
Risk type games. More
Nobunaga's Ambition was sort of like a it's about the Nobunaga, like the Warring Fife period in Japan. There's like 50 fiefs, and you choose a fief to be the leader of,
Yeah, okay.
and then you like train your troops, and you have to like worry about your cities and stuff like that, and take over all the fiefs. And
It's Civilization, but yeah.
yeah, kind of in a very like simplistic format.
Yeah, much more simplistic than
And then you
Civ,
have, like-
very much in the same vein.
And you have combat that's sort of like pseudo chess, where you have like a weird rectangle setup that you have to move around on and stuff. It was interesting, but it was a lot of fun, and I would play hours and hours and hours of that game. I'm pretty sure I actually burnt out the original Super Nintendo cartridge from it being on for so long.
Wow.
I really want to get Brigandine. I would kill for a copy of that game.
I have a copy of that game somewhere still. Brigandine's so good also.
So good. Yep. We'll have to get some emulators sometime and introduce you to them, Ryan, because they're fantastic games. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I never really. I mean, I played Zelda a little bit when I was a kid, but I don't know. I couldn't really.
That nonsense out of here.
Yeah, I mean, then I don't think I got back into RPGs until I had, I think, Wild Arms for PlayStation.
Good choice. Wild Arms
Yeah.
was great.
Oh, God. Wild Arms?
I loved Wild Arms.
Yeah, the first Wild Arms was really good.
Yeah.
Guys, I grew up with Pong. Anything that didn't look like a line looked like tits to me. I mean, it's great.
Nice.
Oh man. But yeah, no, Wild Arms is good. There's a Legend of the Dragoon was really good, also for the PlayStation.
Legend of Dragoon was really good.
Xenosaga was one of my favorites.
Oh, I played Xenosaga. Yeah.
Xenosaga was awesome. Was super awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chrono
Holy
Trigger.
crap, I
original
forgot about
PlayStation.
Xenosaga.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. Well, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I really liked Chrono Trigger. That was
Chrono Trigger was good. That's why I liked it.
I thought that was out for. I thought that was a Super.
That's why I
Nintendo.
liked it.
I think
Chrono
there was a Chrono Trigger for the one, but the one that I remember is from PlayStation.
That would have
I
been.
think there
Chrono
were several
Cross.
different one of
Chrono Cross.
Maybe it is Chrono Cross. I'm thinking then.
Yeah, Chrono Cross was on the PlayStation.
Or was Cross the first one and Trigger? I don't remember. We'll have to look it up.
Trigger was the first one.
Okay then.
Yeah. Chrono Cross came second. Anyways, yep. I think that's it for this week, guys.
Yeah, we're kind of over time, so.
Yep. We'll go ahead and close it up. Thanks for listening. If you guys want us to talk about anything, again, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter. Let us know if you have anything you want us to go into, or anything you want to yell at us about. If you hate our stuff, comment on YouTube. Tell us how much you hate our stuff. We appreciate it.
And, yeah, we promise we won't troll.
I don't promise that.
We should not make that promise.
Yeah.
We really should not make that promise.
Yeah.
I do not support that promise.
All right. Night, guys.
We'll see you.
Take care.